All right, this is OneLastMidnight. Welcome back to another episode of Valheim. Today we're going to look at 10 really useful quality of life mods. Now, if you're not into modding, this video is probably not going to be for you. But these mods focus on things that will make life easier for you inside of Valheim without being super cheaty. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. The first mod we're going to look at is Clock. Now, Clock does what it says. It adds a very simple clock into the game. You can configure the clock in one of two ways. You can have it as a fuzzy logic, so that it would show like early evening or afternoon or evening time. Or you can have it configured as a running in-game clock, as I have it currently configured in the upper middle of my screen. Now, there's several things that can be changed about this mod. You can change the font type, you can change the font size, color, you can change the location of where the clock is at. Again, you could set it to fuzzy logic or just a regular clock. You can even change the time format. If you don't want military time, you can have it set up to regular time. You just need to go into the config file and make those changes. The next mod we're going to look at is trash items. It does exactly what it says it does. Inside of your inventory screen, you now have a trash icon so that you can get rid of items just by dragging and dropping it onto the trash, and it goes away forever. No more running and throwing your garbage away into the ocean or waiting for it to despawn somewhere else. You can easily just drag from your inventory and get rid of that item forever. Yeah. A simple quality of life item that makes your inventory so much easier to maintain. The next mod we're going to look at is Simple Recycling. Simple Recycling adds a feature to your workbench. It gives you a brand new tab called Recycle. So for those items in your inventory that you want to get rid of, but then you also want the resources back from, you can now use this Recycle feature to get rid of those items. So just select the item that you want, hit recycle, and the raw resources will go back into your inventory. It's just another option of getting rid of items inside of your inventory. If you didn't want to trash them with the trash items mod, you can recycle them back to their raw resources. The next mod we're going to look at is Invis Helm. Now, Invis Helm gives you the ability to toggle your helmet on or off. The helmet models are very cool. I enjoy looking at the helmet models, but I spent a lot of time building my character and picking the right hair and beard, and I want to see them from time to time. Also, sometimes the helmet clips through the beard, as you can see in my current picture right now, where my beard is kind of poking out of the helmet, and it doesn't look very good. So Invis Helm gives you the ability to easily toggle on and off your helmet. It's a nice little feature to have, so you can show your face instead of having it covered up. The next mod we're going to look at is called Hold Attack. Hold Attack gives you the ability to hold down the left mouse button and to continually attack. Currently, using the left mouse button sends off one attack, and then you need to press it again in order to attack a second time. And that's okay unless you're like beating up on trees, and you're going to have to click over and over and over and over and over again before you wind up breaking off the item that you want, or even just splitting it in half. So imagine this tree, we took that many swings to break it in half, and now we need to take exactly that many swings to break this again. That's a lot of clicks. Hold Attack allows you to configure a button so that once you press it, you have now toggled Hold Attack, and all you have to do is hold down your left mouse button and it will automatically attack for you. This is really, really, really useful whether you're in combat or you're harvesting resources, so you no longer have to click multiple times to finish your task. The next mod we're going to look at is the First Person View. The First Person View mod gives you the ability to be able to switch your camera into first person mode. So in standard Valheim, you can scroll out and you can scroll in only to a certain point, but once you get there, you can no longer use your mouse wheel to get in closer. The first person mod allows you to continue to keep using your mouse wheel until you get into that first person mode. It works pretty well. There are some minor flaws with it. it's not a perfect mod, but it allows you to get at least this nice first-person perspective, and it works out pretty well. I actually enjoy being able to get this first-person view of the creatures I'm attacking or things that I'm working on. See you, Bambi. The next mod is called Multicraft. Multicraft gives you the ability to craft more than one item. Pretty simple. You use a workbench and now you have a UI interface that allows you to increase or decrease the amount of items that you want to craft. And you can see that it also increases the quantity of resources that's required to make those multiple items. So in this case, if I wanted to craft 3 bundles of arrows, I can easily just increment until I'm crafting 3. It's going to take 24 wood. I happen to have it, and it's going to go ahead and craft those items automatically for me. This is a handy little mod, especially if you're crafting a lot of arrows or a lot of food. The next mod that we're going to look at that I think is a great quality of life addition is called Speedy Paths. Speedy Paths gives paths a purpose. So they allow us to make pathing and clear off ground, but it does absolutely nothing for us in the game. This is our current walk speed. It's always the walk speed, regardless of the ground being paved or the ground being pathed. And it does nothing for you. The pathing currently has no purpose or use other than to get rid of the grass texture. Speedy Paths gives you a buff when you get onto a paved surface, whether it be a dirt path. You can see in the upper right-hand corner that I have a 15% walk increase. Or if I happen to have put down the cobblestone pathing, you can see that I get a 40% walk increase. So this is really easy to see when I transition between the fast to the slow pathing. Let me run over here really quick. And so I'm walking at a 15% increase, and you can see that I'm quickly walking at that 40% increase. And then I can transfer back to a 15% increase. And when I get to the grass, you can see that I slow down again. Once again, I find this to be a great little quality of life addition to the game because it gives my paths a purpose. And it makes paths even more useful than just clearing out the vegetation that's on the ground. The next mod I want to tell you about is called Locator. Locator allows you to automatically create pins inside of your map. You can see that I have a bunch of pins that have been added to my map, and most of these have been added by Locator. This mod is highly configurable. You can tell it what to pin and what not to pin on your map so that you can only have the items that you want pinned. I find it extremely useful to be able to pin berries and mushrooms because I need to use them for the higher tier foods. So I want to know where to go back to harvest them. Also, it's great for locating and identifying copper, caves, crypts, tin, and other resources that I might want to mark on the map. Once you have it installed, all you have to do is go up to the item that you want marked, and you can see there's a mushroom here. If I look at my map currently, there's no pin for that mushroom, but if I hover over the mushroom just really quick, you can see that a pin was added, and I have mushrooms marked as M on my map. The mod also gives you the ability to be able to filter the pins inside of your console window. And finally, the last quality of life mod that I want to look at is called Better UI. Better UI adds a ton of functionality to the existing UI. Beforehand, all of my tools and weapons and armor had a number identifying the level of that particular item. Now you get nice little cute little stars to be able to identify what level your item is. There is also a bar for durability, so you can see that the current durability of your weapon is nice and clear. There's a color for equipped weapons that makes it a little bit stand out a little bit more. When you're inside of the workbench and you want to do an upgrade, you'll see that there's some additional information to the tooltip window that you can see that there will be an increase to my blunt attack from 20 to 26. That there'll be a parry force increase from 50 to 60, as well as the durability increase from 100 to 150. So there's just additional information that you get inside of tooltip areas. You can also see that on my interface on the bottom, I have a yellow bar. That is a experience bar that tells me when I get to the next level. If I look at my skills interface, you can see that the UI has changed slightly, where I can see now that the bar has a percentage of how much I'm gaining. Also, if I'm actually using a skill, you can see in the upper left-hand corner that using the run skill currently, and that it's increasing as I use that particular skill, and you can see that I'm getting close to leveling in my run skill. The mod is highly configurable, so if you didn't want to see the experience bar on the creatures, or if you don't want to have the experience bar on the lower part of your screen, or if you want to change any of it, you can go into the configuration file and you can turn off any of the functionality inside of Better UI to make it easier and more useful for you. Before we leave, let's quickly talk about use on other servers. So how does this work in a multiplayer environment, or how does it work on a server environment? All of these mods are client-based. Regardless of whether you're on a server or whether you're playing your solo game, these mods will work. And it won't affect other players. It will only affect you. If you happen to run a server and you do want everybody to have these mods, everybody is going to have to individually install the mods that you want for your server. There is no distribution of mods from a dedicated server. So that's it for me. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. I'd love to have you in the community. If you want to follow me on any of my social media, you can find the links in the description below, and make sure to hit that notification bell. That way you know when I go live and when I post new videos. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.